Ladies and gentlemen, greetings from the National Library of Latvia. My name is Jānis Kreicbergs. I work as a project manager here. My areas of responsibility is academic repository, as well as open science and science communication issues in general. Today, I'm going to give you a very short insight in research we made in cooperation with our partners on open science situation in Latvia. The research was commissioned by the Ministry of Education and Science, and the key tasks here was mapping of existing open science landscape and actors, the developing of roadmap for open science implementation in Latvia, and preparation of recommendations for the national open science policy. The whole job was made in 6 months, the first half of this year, and it was performed by the team of 10 researchers from our library and some of the biggest universities, Riga Technical University and Riga Stradiņš University. In our team, we also had an EOSC project member, a full expert, and one student from Library and Information Science program. If we talk about content, the final report consists from 3 basic parts. First, there is an overview of existing international and national situation and developments of open science, including open access, open data, and citizen science. And in addition, the mapping of existing scientific institutions, publishers, and scientific journals also was performed. Then, there are results of 40 interviews we made during COVID. These interviews, as you see, covers wide spectrum of roles, types of organizations, and fields of science, both science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, and humanities and social sciences. And finally, we prepared recommendations and a roadmap for the implementation of open science in our national policy. If we look at the results of interviews, there are some conclusions to show. First, we found out that the understanding of open science concepts and practical application varies significantly, especially among the representatives of different disciplines. It can be said that science and technology researchers show more positive attitude and deeper comprehension than those from humanities and social sciences. Of course, there are reasons for that. The attitudes and opinions are mixed, and there are no clear distinction of positive or negative attitude. But most of people we interviewed look at the open science implementation with certain caution and skepticism. It is perceived as a new responsibilities and additional workload. There is an assumption that open science implementation will require significant work and time investment without clear return, and therefore implementation and praxis of open science requirements should be funded additionally and not from existing research funding. Such an attitude can be explained with some local aspects. First, academic community is quite small and overloaded with different roles and tasks. But practicing open science, especially if we talk about data preparation, requires significant time investment, and very often work is done pro bono. In addition, until recent years, the open science wasn't present in national scientific evaluation criteria. If we turn to some general recommendations, it is important to understand and communicate that the implementation of open science practice is inevitable. Therefore, the key to better acceptance of open science requirements lies in educational and support activities. The scientific community has to see benefits from open science. In science communication, bibliometrics, financial benefits. Open science also fosters cooperation on institutional and national level. And now, when we finally came to academic libraries, I have several recommendations I found out relevant from our research. The current situation and the future perspectives clearly shows that academic libraries shouldn't be just reading rooms, catalogs, lots of books and databases. Academic libraries have great potential and have to proactively develop their niche skills and competences in open science implementation and support their founder institutions. In more specific terms, there are some of these niche competences and areas academic libraries could step in and find their role. First, it is so-called verification. FAIR comes from basic principles of data findability, accessibility, interoperability, and reusability. Libraries have a great opportunity and mandate to implement, encourage, to create and use high-quality metadata and standardized exchange protocols, as well as persistent identifiers, for example, DOIs or ORCID. Science administration warmly welcomes support in bibliometrics and scientometrics, and libraries are the right place to develop and host repositories. Here we can distinguish literature repositories for publications, emerging data repositories for research data, and also some specific subtype repositories for learning objects, for example, from e-learning environment. If you look at the big universities, our interviews also show the importance of synergy within the triangle of academic library, university press, and science administration department. And finally, one of the recent trends and discussions about new librarian qualification, data stewardship. So, this is very, very short run through our 90-page report. It is published, unfortunately, just in Latvian. So thank you for your attention and hope to see you someday in Riga.